YNR December 2nd news recap and spoilers. Victor explodes, Kane picks a side, Audra unravels and Claire's big moment. Genoa City is igniting on all fronts as major storylines collide, secrets crack open, and powerful families brace for a storm that could reshape everything. Here's your full YNR news breakdown for December 2nd and beyond. Phyllis finds herself backed into a corner after her latest scheme begins to unravel. With pressure mounting, Kane steps in and demands the truth, forcing Phyllis to face consequences she hoped to dodge. Kane's firm stance marks a turning point as he finally chooses a side, aligning himself with stability rather than chaos. Meanwhile, Jack drops a bomb on the Abbott family with a radical proposal to save Jabot. Fearing Victor's escalating interference through AI infiltration, Jack urges a complete shutdown of company systems, a risky plan that could either protect the family legacy or push the business to the brink. The Abbotts prepare for a counterstrike, even as Victor sharpens his next move. Over the next 2 weeks, December 1st to 12th, tensions skyrocket. Victor's fury erupts when he learns Matt Clark, hiding behind a new alias, may be threatening his family. Determined to crush the danger, Victor heads straight into battle mode. Audra, on the other hand, spirals after Nate firmly rejects her attempts at reconciliation, pushing her toward reckless choices. Claire Newman continues her standout run, building toward a major bombshell that could shake the Newman and Abbott families. It's no surprise Haley Aaron has been crowned November 2025 Performer of the Month, thanks to Claire's emotional depth and rising power in the storyline. In the next 3 weeks, Matt's looming threat casts a chilling shadow over Genoa City just as the Abbotts prepare to strike back. The countdown to a massive showdown has officially begun. Welcome to Celebrity Gossip 24 Hours, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we delve into the intriguing world of Young and the Restless, revealing the untold tales and hidden truths behind the headlines. YNR recap: December 2nd, Phyllis cornered, Kane demands truth, and Genoa City braces for a corporate storm. Tuesday's episode of The Young and the Restless delivered a powerful blend of corporate warfare, romantic fallout, and emotional confession as old alliances cracked and new tensions rose. Phyllis Summer's web of half-truths began to unravel under Kane Ashby's relentless pressure. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins prepared for a drastic, and potentially devastating, move to safeguard Jabot's future. Across town, Nate and Victoria continued strengthening their rekindled connection as Audra strategically inserted herself where she wasn't wanted. And in a surprise shift, Victor Newman revealed sudden travel plans that set off alarm bells. Below is a full breakdown of everything that unfolded, dramatic, emotional, and packed with turning points that are sure to shake Genoa City. Kane pushes Phyllis to the brink, truth or breakup. At the GCAC dining room, Phyllis and Kane's simmering tension boiled over the moment they sat down. Phyllis immediately accused Kane of siding with Lily in their ongoing feud, but Kane stood his ground. He revealed that he'd met with Victor and agreed to sell Arabesque, his ambitious tech empire, for a fraction of its value. The admission stunned Phyllis, who questioned why Kane would accept such a loss. Kane explained that Arabesque had consumed him, transforming his drive into greed and his ambition into obsession. He was ready to rebuild himself from the ground up, and he wanted Phyllis beside him. Together, he imagined the two of them launching something bold, brilliant, and brand new. But there was one problem. Kane believed Phyllis had stolen his AI software and handed it to Victor as part of a backdoor deal involving Jabot. Phyllis tried to wriggle out of it, denying, pivoting, accusing, and deflecting, but Kane refused to let the matter drop any longer. The days of playing games were over. If they were going to build a future together, he needed trust, and he needed it now. He pushed her harder, insisting she stop hiding behind excuses. He wasn't there to punish her. He wasn't there to shame her. He wanted openness and partnership. But without honesty, they had no future. Phyllis shot back that she couldn't trust him, especially after everything with Lily. How could she believe he wanted real change? And why should she be the one to take a leap first? Kane responded with more honesty than she expected. He admitted that what he had with Lily was over. His mistakes had destroyed that relationship permanently. Now, he wanted to move forward, not backward, and he saw Phyllis as someone who, like him, could use a second chance at reinvention. But to get there, she needed to admit what she did. After a long silence and visible anxiety, Phyllis finally exhaled and said she would tell him the truth, at last. Jack and Diane prepare for a drastic move against Victor. Over at the Abbott mansion, Jack briefed Diane on the next step in their ongoing battle with Victor and his newly obtained AI system. They were preparing to shut down Jabot's servers entirely, a radical step meant to prevent Victor from infiltrating the company's digital infrastructure with the stolen software. The cost would be enormous, halting business operations, disrupting clients, and risking significant financial fallout. Diane voiced what they were both thinking: Jabot might not survive such a maneuver. Jack acknowledged the risk, but he believed Victor's attack left them no other choice. If they didn't take immediate action, the damage to Jabot could become permanent. As Diane listened, she shifted into strategic mode of her own. While Jack handled defense, she vowed to go on the offensive, digging until she found concrete proof that Victor was indeed using Kane's stolen AI. Jack, emboldened by her determination, suggested they head to Society and prepare for the long battle ahead. Once they initiated the shutdown, there'd be no turning back. Billy and Sally look ahead, while Victor looms. At Society, Billy ran into Audra and Sally. He tried to extend an olive branch to Audra after her forced exit from Abbott Communications, but she brushed him off quickly. Billy suspected she still harbored bitterness, but he refocused on what mattered, launching their new media venture with Sally. Billy and Sally shared a warm moment celebrating his new sense of balance and responsibility, especially his continued sobriety. Their romantic chemistry was stronger than ever. But the mood shifted the moment Victor entered the restaurant. Victor greeted them with his trademark icy politeness, hinting that he hoped nothing interfered with their upcoming launch. Billy fired back that the only collapse on the horizon was Victor's own corporate empire. Victor chuckled, unconcerned, but the message was clear: no one was safe from Newman interference. When Victor moved to the bar, Jack and Diane arrived. Diane suggested avoiding a confrontation, but Jack refused. He approached Victor and accused him outright of weaponizing stolen software against Kane, while noting he was surprised Victor hadn't targeted Jabot first. Victor denied everything, amused by their accusations. He made a veiled reference to Kane getting knocked flat in the corporate world, but insisted he wasn't involved. Jack didn't buy it, and neither did Diane. And if Victor's smugness was any indication, he was enjoying this war far too much. Nate and Victoria grow closer. Audra interferes. At Crimson Lights, Victoria and Nate shared a relaxed, surprisingly intimate moment as they caught up over tea. Their chemistry remained effortless, something Nate clearly felt strongly, as he admitted there was nowhere he'd rather be. Audra's sudden arrival derailed the mood. With her trademark edge, she greeted them with a passive-aggressive comment about Nate being on good terms with at least one of his exes. Victoria and Nate asked about her new role at Abbott Communications, and Audra put on a diplomatic front, claiming she was in the best place she'd been in ages. But when Victoria stepped away after receiving a message from Victor, Audra jumped at the opportunity to pry into Nate's personal life. Nate shut her down firmly. He reminded her of the lies she told him, the deceptions surrounding Nice, Vibrante, and everything that followed. He said plainly that he couldn't trust her anymore, no matter how many apologies she offered. Audra watched him walk out, wounded, but not defeated. Victor reveals a sudden trip to L.A. At Society, Victoria found Victor waiting. He quickly revealed he was heading to Los Angeles on urgent family business involving Sharon, Nick, and Noah. The details were vague, and that alone made Victoria uneasy. Victor told her she needed to stay in Genoa City and run Newman Enterprises in his absence. He needed her to trust him, not question him. Though frustrated, Victoria agreed. But something about the situation clearly troubled her. Victor only leaves Genoa City when disaster is brewing, and it wasn't hard to sense he was shielding her from something. Jack feels confident. Perhaps too confident. Back at their table, Diane expressed concern that Jack's confrontation with Victor might provoke him. Jack, however, believed Victor was already moving against them, and that Jabot's server shutdown would keep them one step ahead. But Victor Newman has never been a man easily outmaneuvered. And Jack's confidence might prove to be the most dangerous part of this growing war. Today's next update. Y&R News, Kane finally chooses sides as Jack proposes a shocking plan to save Jabot. Genoa City started the week with explosive confrontations and a corporate emergency that threatens one of its most powerful families. Monday's episode of The Young and the Restless delivered emotional clashes, harsh truths, and an audacious new strategy that could alter the future of Jabot forever. While Kane stepped directly into the bitter territory war between Phyllis and Lily, Jack gathered his family to float a dramatic plan no one saw coming. Here's the full recap of the major moments that shook Genoa City. Phyllis and Lily's feud reignites and gets personal. Tensions flared the moment Phyllis and Lily crossed paths at the athletic club. Both had been chatting with their kids just moments earlier, but any warmth dissolved instantly as they spotted each other. Phyllis wasted no time accusing Lily of poisoning her children against Kane. Lily fired back, telling Phyllis she wasn't about to take parenting advice from someone she considered a bad influence. From there, the confrontation escalated quickly. Phyllis claimed Lily had been manipulating Kane with emotional promises, letting him hope for reconciliation only to smack him down whenever it suited her. Lily refused to entertain the idea, instead accusing Phyllis of encouraging the dark, ruthless version of Kane that emerged during his time at Dumas. The insults hit harder as the fight spiraled. Lily insisted she felt nothing but pity for her ex-husband, while Phyllis countered that Kane's determination was admirable, even enviable. Lily bluntly told her rival she was welcome to him. Phyllis pushed further, arguing that Lily was feeding unnecessary resentment to their kids and demanding Kane drop everything he'd built. Lily, done with the conversation, snapped that Phyllis should crawl back under whatever rock she'd slithered out of. The redhead wasn't intimidated, if anything, the hostility seemed to energize her. And just as things were about to get even uglier, Kane himself walked in. Jack's massive proposal shut down Jabot to save it. At the Abbott estate, the family gathered after dessert when Ashley asked what was happening back home. Jack decided it was time to reveal the alarming truth: Jabot was no longer safe. He explained that Kane had returned to town with a revolutionary AI system powerful enough to destabilize entire companies. But Victor Newman had gotten his hands on it and weaponized it against Arabesque. Now, Jack feared Victor would inevitably turn that same AI tool on Jabot. Ashley suggested she could talk Victor down, but Jack was certain charm and diplomacy wouldn't work this time, not with Victor still furious over what happened during Nikki's crisis. Billy reminded everyone that Victor had tried to tear their family apart many times before, and if Newman had a new technological weapon, the Abbotts needed to be ready. Then Jack delivered the plan, dramatic, extreme, and almost unthinkable. Jabot, he argued, needed to shut down completely. Not a temporary pause. Not a mild cutback. A full operational shutdown. Jack believed Victor would strike as soon as Abbott Communications launched. And if Jabot kept running normally, they would be defenseless. By shutting down servers, halting online operations, and restructuring their product timeline, Jack believed they could buy months of safety, enough time to rebuild their defenses and outmaneuver Victor's AI access. The financial hit would be enormous. Employees would panic. The first quarter would likely be disastrous. Ashley wondered whether their father would ever take such a gamble. Even Jack admitted he wasn't entirely sure the company would recover. But despite the cost, the idea had support. Billy didn't have a better alternative. Kyle and Diane backed Jack completely. All eyes turned to Ashley and Tracy. If either objected, the plan died on the spot. The weight of Jabot's future hung in the air as everyone waited for their verdict. Kane faces Victor and agrees to give up his empire. Elsewhere, Kane approached Victor and Adam in a stunning moment of resignation. Without preamble, he announced he was there to surrender. Adam insisted Newman didn't possess the stolen AI software, but Kane knew better. The damage to Arabesque was obvious, and Kane had come with an offer: take the remains of his empire before it collapsed entirely. Victor was amused, almost entertained, by the sight of Kane at his lowest. Kane begged only for a return of his initial investment, admitting his own mistakes and arrogance had led him to ruin. Adam berated him for expecting a rescue he didn't deserve. Victor chimed in with his own cutting commentary, hinting that he was enjoying the spectacle more than Kane realized. When Kane finally left, Victor admitted, to Nikki and Adam, that he'd dangled just enough hope to keep Kane desperate. Once Arabesque crumbled completely, Victor planned to pick the bones clean. Kane breaks up the fight and finally chooses a side. Back at the athletic club, the confrontation between Phyllis and Lily exploded again as Kane appeared. Phyllis accused Lily of stringing him along emotionally, while Lily scoffed that Kane had sunk to the bottom of the barrel by teaming up with Phyllis. Both women continued taking brutal shots at each other until Kane finally lost his patience. He shouted for them to stop, stunning both into silence. Lily, convinced Kane secretly enjoyed being fought over, delivered one last blow, warning Phyllis would be his downfall, and then stormed off. Left alone, Phyllis demanded that Kane stop hiding behind diplomacy and finally choose a side. Kane looked her in the eye, steady and resolved. He already had, he said. And he knew exactly where he was going next. Today's next update. YNR 2-week spoilers, December 1st to 12th. Victor's fury erupts, Audra spirals, and Claire prepares a bombshell. The next 2 weeks on The Young and the Restless promise a whirlwind of chaos, emotional explosions, and dangerous power plays that could shake Genoa City from top to bottom. From Kane Ashby's surrender to Victor's escalating fury, to Claire's growing determination to expose Audra's darkest secrets, the drama from December 1st to 12th is packed with shocking confrontations and high-stakes rescue missions. Here's a complete breakdown of everything heading your way. Kane Ashby bows to Victor Newman, and Victor isn't finished. The 2-week arc begins on Monday, December 1st, with Kane admitting defeat. After watching Arabesque crumble under the weight of his own mistakes, and Victor's powerful new AI weapon, Kane approaches Victor with an unusual request: let him walk away with whatever he originally invested. Victor listens, but it's clear he's savoring the moment. Adam argues that Kane deserves nothing after the damage he caused. Victor, always the strategist, tells Kane he'll consider it, but once Kane exits, he reveals the truth: he's not done dismantling Kane's life. If anything, this is just the warm-up. Nikki agrees with her husband's ruthless stance for now, though she may change her perspective once Victor begins using the AI on targets beyond Kane. Kane walks away believing he still has a sliver of hope, but Victor privately makes it clear to Adam and Nikki: Cain is headed toward total financial ruin. Lily and Phyllis explode, and Cain gets caught in the middle. Also on Monday, tensions hit critical mass when Lily runs into Phyllis at the athletic club. The moment they make eye contact, sparks fly. Phyllis accuses Lily of stringing Cain along emotionally while acting as if she's above him. Lily shoots back that Phyllis is dragging Cain deeper into the chaos he needs to escape. Their argument becomes so intense that Cain eventually steps in to defuse the situation. Lily delivers one final jab, declaring that Cain aligning himself with Phyllis will destroy him for good. Then she storms away, leaving Phyllis to confront Cain directly. She demands that he finally choose a side. Cain quietly reveals he already has a decision that leaves Phyllis with more questions than answers. The real mystery isn't whose side he's on, but what Cain's next move will be. Jack proposes a radical solution to save Jabot. Meanwhile, over at the Abbott mansion, Jack gathers the family to reveal just how dire Jabot's situation truly is. With Victor now in possession of the stolen AI, the Abbotts face a looming digital threat capable of wiping out entire companies, just as it destroyed Arabesque. Jack proposes a drastic, controversial strategy, shutting down all of Jabot's online operations for several months while the tech team creates new defenses. In Jack's view, going temporarily offline is the only way to prevent Victor from infiltrating their systems. The suggestion shocks his sisters. Tracy worries it will wreck the company. Ashley fears the damage to their brand could be permanent. But Kyle and Diane believe Jack is right, Victor will strike, and the Abbotts need to protect their legacy before it's too late. Billy is caught in the crossfire, aware that Victor is also preparing to target Abbottcom, and possibly him and Sally, in the process. The debate is heated, emotional, and far from resolved. But one thing is certain, the Abbotts are preparing for war. Audra melts down as Nate moves on. On Tuesday, December 2nd, Audra reaches her breaking point. She vents her frustrations to Nate, furious that he refuses to forgive her despite her apologies for the secret financial scheme she got tangled in. Nate remains unmoved, reminding her that some betrayals can't be undone. Audra becomes even more distressed when she realizes Nate is building a future with Victoria Newman. She lashes out, unable to accept that her relationship with him is truly over. Elsewhere, Jack takes another bold step to shield Jabot, though no one knows yet whether he'll follow through on the full shutdown, and Victor receives alarming news from Los Angeles. Nick and Sharon still can't locate Noah or Sienna despite working with undercover detectives. Desperate for reinforcements, they call Victor. Nothing grabs Victor's attention faster than danger aimed at family. Nick and Sharon cornered, Matt Clark tightens the trap. By Wednesday, December 3rd, the crisis in Los Angeles reaches a terrifying turning point. Nick and Sharon are cornered, facing the possibility that the man behind Noah's disappearance, Mitch Bacall, better known as Matt Clark, has no intention of ever letting them find their son. The clues he left, including those mysterious tablets, now look more like a setup than a breadcrumb trail. Meanwhile, Noah and Sienna struggle to figure out a way to escape their captor. The room they're trapped in makes that hope feel impossible, but the two are determined not to give up. Victor arrives at the Shadow Room, where Matt is meeting with Detective Burrow, unaware Burrow is actually undercover. Matt is confident he's in control, until Victor strides in. The mustache immediately calls him out, setting the stage for an explosive confrontation. Matt forces Noah's hand, and Victor makes his move. On Thursday, December 4th, Matt leans into his obsession and jealousy. Furious about Noah's relationship with Sienna, he pushes Noah to make an impossible decision. Whether it's a bargain, a violent threat, or a demand for loyalty, the pressure on Noah reaches terrifying levels. But Victor, now fully immersed in the situation, begins turning the tables. He identifies an opportunity to turn Matt's plan inside out, and this twist could be the key to giving Nick and Sharon the upper hand at last. Claire versus Audra, a showdown begins. Friday, December 5th brings another major confrontation, this time between Claire and Audra. Claire's patience has run out. She warns Audra that the truth about her past is about to surface, and Audra immediately realizes that Claire might have already taken steps toward exposing her. Claire leaves Billy a message about damaging intel she's uncovered, hinting that the Abbotts may intend to use Audra's secrets during the launch of AbbotCom. The fallout could be massive, not just for Audra, but for Holden, who would be dragged down with her. At the same time, Diane and Kyle go digging for dirt on Victor, hoping to expose anything that could help Jabot gain leverage. Jack confides a private secret to Nikki, something that may be connected to his strategy against Victor. Whether it's truth or a calculated misdirection remains to be seen. Week 2, December 8th to 12th exposés, escapes, and a major anniversary. Claire doubles down, Audra faces collapse. The second week picks up with Claire pressing forward in her mission to expose Audra once and for all. Their conflict intensifies dramatically as Claire digs deeper into Audra's history and the connection to Holden's past. Audra has already warned that if she goes down, Holden goes with her, and now Claire begins to see just how much he has been hiding. The dominoes are stacked, and Claire is ready to push. The Abbotts prepare for Victor's next attack. The Abbott family continues building a united front against Victor. Tension grows as they debate how far they're willing to go to protect Jabot and whether Jack's extreme plan is the only real option. The question hanging over everyone. How far will Victor go with his new AI weapon, and who's next on his list? Noah and Sienna escape, but the nightmare isn't over. Noah and Sienna survive their ordeal in Los Angeles and begin their journey back to Genoa City. But Matt isn't finished with them, or with Nick and Sharon. He vows revenge, setting the stage for his arrival in Genoa City in the weeks ahead. The storyline is far from over. Kyle sparks new hope, but Claire is torn. Kyle enters the week with renewed hope after Claire kissed him on Thanksgiving. He believes there's still a chance for reconciliation, and he's ready to fight for it. But Claire remains conflicted. Holden continues to pull her in, and Kyle's timing might not be enough to sway her heart. Lauren and Michael celebrate 20 years. And finally, December 9th brings a special standalone episode honoring Lauren Fenmore and Michael Baldwin's 20th wedding anniversary. Expect emotional scenes, classic flashbacks, and a nostalgic celebration of one of the show's most enduring couples. Today's next update. Why in our next 3 weeks, Matt's terror looms over Genoa City as the Abbotts launch their counterstrike. The next 3 weeks in The Young and the Restless promise danger, heartbreak, and bold strategy as Matt Clark's twisted agenda reaches new heights and several Genoa City romances hit turbulent waters. Week of December 1st to 5th, explosive clashes and high-stakes planning. The month kicks off with a fiery confrontation between Lily Winters and Phyllis Summers, whose long-running rivalry ignites once again. The argument turns deeply personal as both women accuse each other of manipulating Kane and sabotaging his life. Their battle escalates so quickly that Kane himself is forced to intervene, walking straight into the emotional crossfire. Across town, Jack Abbott unveils a bold and controversial strategy to counter Victor Newman's looming AI attack. Jack proposes a 3-month shutdown of Jabot's digital operations, insisting this temporary retreat is the only way to keep Victor from weaponizing his new tech against the company. His plan isn't just risky, it could alter the future of the Abbott legacy. Despite internal debate, it appears Jack may win the family's support, though the emotional weight of the decision hangs heavily over Jabot's leadership. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman becomes entangled in Jack's plans when he confides a key piece of his overall approach. Whether Nikki becomes an ally or an unsuspecting pawn remains to be seen. Back on the West Coast, Victor receives alarming updates from Los Angeles news that pushes him to immediately confront Matt Clark, who has been masquerading under a new identity. Their showdown is intense, combative, and signals the beginning of a dangerous game of strategy between two master manipulators. At the same time, Nick and Sharon Newman find themselves trapped in a perilous situation as they continue searching for their missing son, Noah. Noah and Sienna Bacall attempt an escape plan of their own, but Matt's timing is ruthless. His next move threatens to put Noah directly in the line of fire. Elsewhere, Kyle Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott begin their own covert mission. Determined to uncover leverage against Victor, mother and son team up for a dirt-digging project that unexpectedly strengthens their bond. Emotions also run high for Audra Charles, who reels when Nate Hastings once again rejects the idea of a reunion. Audra's frustration quickly redirects toward Claire Newman, triggering a sharp and vicious clash that exposes their growing rivalry. Week of December 8th to 12th, a new threat rises and Genoa City braces itself. As the second week unfolds, chaos continues on the West Coast. It appears Matt has finally been cornered, but Y&R viewers know better than to assume he's finished. Even as police pressure mounts, Matt begins laying the groundwork for a chilling comeback in Genoa City. His obsession with revenge intensifies, setting up a future confrontation with every member of the Newman family. Meanwhile, a special standalone episode on December 9th will honor Lauren Fenmore Baldwin and Michael Baldwin as they celebrate a major milestone, 20 years of marriage. The episode will revisit their journey, filled with classic memories and heartfelt moments that longtime viewers won't want to miss. Week of December 15th to 19th, homecomings, new conflicts and brewing revenge. As the third week begins, the Los Angeles saga officially shifts back to Genoa City. Victor, Nick, Sharon, Noah, and Sienna all return, each carrying emotional scars from the ordeal. Noah is determined to protect his connection with Sienna, despite the complicated circumstances surrounding their relationship. However, danger is far from over. Matt refuses to let go of his vendetta and starts mapping out his next strike, this time focused directly on Noah, Nick, and Sharon. Genoa City may be peaceful for the holidays, but Matt's shadow is already creeping toward town. Meanwhile, Audra reacts strongly when she discovers Noah is back. Bold feelings resurface, and she may decide she wants another chance with him. This instantly positions Sienna as her new romantic rival, setting up a battle neither woman intends to lose. Elsewhere, Kyle Abbott remains hopeful after his surprising Thanksgiving kiss with Claire. Their chemistry is undeniable, and Kyle seems ready to pursue a reunion, even if Claire is still torn between Kyle and her entanglement with Holden. A season of love, danger, and strategic warfare. The coming weeks will test families, relationships, and corporate alliances across Genoa City. With romance heating up, rivalries deepening, and Matt's vengeful plans poised to strike, The Young and the Restless is gearing up for an unforgettable December. Today's next update. Haley Aaron crowned November 2025 Performer of the Month, a breakout month for Claire Newman. Haley Aaron delivered a powerhouse performance throughout November 2025 on The Young and the Restless, earning well-deserved recognition as Performer of the Month. With her portrayal of Claire Newman, Aaron blended vulnerability, resilience, and a dangerous emotional undercurrent into one of the most gripping character evolutions the show has offered all year. Her performance didn't just highlight Claire's shifting relationships, it illuminated a young woman caught between newfound independence and the shadows of her past. A bold new beginning for Claire. The month began with a major turning point, Claire choosing herself for the first time in ages. Rather than letting guilt, trauma, or the expectations of her powerful family dictate her decisions, Claire set her sights on a future that felt authentically hers. This shift was made even more compelling by her growing connection with Holden. Their trip to Los Angeles became a defining moment. Through Erin's expressive, grounded performance, viewers watched Claire shed the emotional armor she'd been carrying. Her scenes with Holden captured a delicate balance. Claire was hesitant yet hopeful, cautious yet drawn to the possibility of something real. The unexpected intimacy they shared didn't feel reckless. It felt like a young woman reclaiming joy after surviving years of emotional manipulation. Erin imbued those scenes with a sense of liberation that felt both exhilarating and earned. A different Claire returns home. After her time in Los Angeles, Claire's return to Genoa City brought a sudden shift in tone. Erin smoothly transitioned the character from relaxed and emotionally open to distant and tense. That subtle shift added a layer of mystery to Claire's arc, raising questions about what she was running from, or perhaps who she feared becoming again. Her exchanges with Audra Charles only deepened the intrigue. The sharp, simmering tension between them hinted that Claire's fragile stability was being tested. Audra's calculated jabs and Claire's controlled responses revealed a version of Claire viewers hadn't seen in months, someone fighting to keep darker impulses under control. Erin used stillness, tight expressions, and lingering silence to communicate internal conflict far more effectively than dialogue ever could. This careful nuance made even Claire's smallest reactions feel meaningful. Thanksgiving with the Abbotts, a turning point. One of November's standout episodes centered on the Abbott family's Thanksgiving celebration, where Erin delivered some of her most emotionally resonant work to date. Surrounded by a family that welcomed her without judgment, Claire's defenses cracked in subtle, heartbreaking ways. Her interactions with Kyle and especially with young Harrison showcased a softer Claire, one who yearns to belong, even if she isn't sure she deserves it. Erin's portrayal of that emotional tug-of-war was handled with remarkable restraint. Her smile felt cautious yet genuine, her gratitude tinged with fear of losing the warmth she was finally experiencing. The scenes didn't just show Claire trying to fit into the Abbott family, they revealed a woman who has never truly known unconditional support. Erin captured every flicker of emotion with pitch-perfect precision, walking the line between light and darkness. Despite Claire's growth, the month repeatedly hinted at unresolved shadows from her past, particularly those tied to her manipulative Aunt Jordan. Erin allowed glimpses of that internal struggle to slip through during her clashes with Audra. A flash of coldness in her eyes, a shift in her voice, a quiet moment of tension, all subtle signals that Claire is still fighting influences she thought she left behind. This delicate balance between vulnerability and threat is what made Erin's work so compelling. She never allowed Claire to appear fully healed nor fully broken. Instead, the performance felt real, like a woman rebuilding herself while still haunted by who she used to be. Why Haley Erin owned November. Haley Erin's performance throughout the month showcased her ability to shift effortlessly between emotional registers, hopeful, haunted, fierce, fragile, and everything in between. Claire's evolution could have felt scattered or abrupt in lesser hands, but Erin wove each moment together with intention. Her work elevated every scene she touched, whether sparking chemistry with Holden, shutting down Audra's provocations, or navigating the complicated emotions stirred by Kyle and the Abbotts. November wasn't just a standout month for Claire Newman. It was a masterclass in layered storytelling from Haley Erin, whose extraordinary performances continue to redefine one of YNR's most intriguing young characters. Today's next update. YNR December 2nd update. Victor goes on the attack, Jack pushes a dangerous plan, Audra loses big. Tuesday's episode of The Young and the Restless brings a wave of shifting alliances, tense confrontations, and high-stakes gambles that could reshape Genoa City and beyond. As old threats resurface and personal relationships fall apart, several characters reach breaking points, setting the stage for a dramatic showdown. Audra's final plea backfires. Audra Charles begins the day determined to repair the damage she caused with Nate Hastings. After weeks of trying to prove she's evolved, she hopes Nate will finally acknowledge her efforts. But Nate is unmoved. He can't overlook the deception she kept hidden, especially her covert partnership with Victor Newman, which delivered blow after blow to his trust. Nate makes it clear that the relationship he once cared about can't be revived. Too much has happened, and he's no longer willing to revisit a romance built on instability and half-truths. This news hits Audra harder than expected. Her calm exterior shatters, and the conversation spirals into heated territory. She accuses Nate of angling for a reunion with Victoria Newman, questioning whether his motives have been honest all along. But Nate refuses to be baited. He stands firm, leaving Audra to confront the reality that she has officially lost him, and only she is to blame. Jack's make-or-break decision. Across town, the Abbott family circles around a pivotal issue: whether or not Jack should authorize a temporary shutdown at Genoa. The company is facing a dire threat after Victor's aggressive use of AI technology left their operations exposed. Jack fears that if they don't pull the plug and rebuild from the ground up, the entire company could be destroyed. Ashley and Tracy hold the crucial votes, and both sisters wrestle with the magnitude of the choice. Taking Genoa offline for months could cripple their market presence, undermine confidence, and create an uphill battle for recovery. But allowing Victor's infiltration to continue could be far worse. After intense discussion, Ashley and Tracy decide to support Jack's controversial plan. With their approval, Jack prepares to execute a move that could save, or sink, their family legacy. The gamble is enormous, but he believes striking back at Victor requires bold, unexpected strategy. He's willing to sacrifice short-term security for long-term survival. Victor receives troubling news. Meanwhile, Victor Newman faces a crisis of his own. Word reaches him from Los Angeles that the situation involving Noah Newman has taken another unsettling turn. Nick Newman's urgent plea for help is enough to propel Victor into immediate action. He won't hesitate when family is in danger. As he prepares to head to LA, Victor becomes convinced that Matt Clark, operating under the alias Mitch Bacall, is responsible for the turmoil. The idea of Matt targeting the Newman family ignites Victor's fury. He has faced powerful adversaries, but few have dared cross him on a personal level. And Victor is not known for turning the other cheek. A brewing West Coast showdown. Once Victor sets foot in Los Angeles, the balance of power is sure to shift. Matt has been playing a long game, confident in his schemes and anonymity. But with Victor now on the warpath, that confidence may crack. Victor's arrival threatens to disrupt Matt's entire operation and force him to rethink strategies he thought were untouchable. The looming face-off promises high drama, deep tension, and the possibility that someone's carefully constructed plans will collapse. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.